You don't need to be the smartest person in the world to understand that the passive income is the highest form of income. Even though real estate is not 100% passive, it's extremely scalable, and if done right, it can make you extremely wealthy. On another hand, it has never been harder to get into real estate investing than it is today. With extremely crazy prices, high interest rates, and everyone wanted to be a real estate investor nowadays, it seems virtually impossible to start. So my question is how this guy did it at only 25 years old. There must be a way that we don't know about, so let's go and talk to him. Hey, what's up, Journey? How are you, man?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Amazing, amazing. Thank you for letting us in.
Yeah.
So, where are we now?
Yeah, so we are on Vira Road in Stowe. So this is one of my duplexes that I own. We just bought this one, and we are still kind of mid-construction site,
Yeah,
as
I
you can
can
kind of see
tell,
here.
yeah.
Yeah. So the main room here, this has kind of been the storage area because we painted the garage floor, so we had to take everything out of the garage. And then a lot of the magic happened upstairs.
Nice. Let's see.
Yep.
How much did you pay for the place?
Yeah, so we purchased this one for about $280,000. It's a side-by-side brick duplex in Stowe, which is like a B, A-class neighborhood. So we're playing a lot more of the appreciation side versus the cash flow side with this one.
Nice.
Yeah, so big living room, new flooring that we put everywhere, paint on all of the walls. We repainted all the doors, we changed all the hardware on all the doors, changed all the light fixtures, and then into the kind of open concept kitchen, we basically gutted the kitchen, ripped all the cabinets out, all the counters out, redid all the cabinets, new hardware, new countertops, and then redid all of the backsplash with everything, and then got brand new appliances here.
That's awesome. How did you find this deal?
Yeah, so this one was actually off market because we bought another property from the same owner. While we were under contract on that one, we asked him if he was selling any other houses. Happened to be selling this one too, and we decided that we could probably pick this one up as well.
Nice. When did you buy this? How long ago?
We closed on this one about a month and a half ago. Yeah.
Okay.
So not long at all.
Did you change the cabinets or just the hardware?
Cabinets too, yep, so we gutted it. So I have photos from before, but there was nothing in here. Completely gutted all the cabinets, counters, backsplash, everything.
Nice.
Had a dumpster, had it all gone in about a day.
Perfect, perfect. All right, and it has 2 bedrooms, right?
Yep, so outside of this room, then come down this way, we have all brand new carpet in here as well. So we ripped all the carpet out, replaced the carpet. 2 spacious bedrooms for, you know, a typical duplex. Really good size. This is the main room with 2 closets, and then they have a full bathroom up here as well that we redid too. So take a look in there. The only thing I think we kept in here was the tub. So new flooring, new vanity, new toilet, and then new lighting and hardware and everything in the tub itself.
How much can you guys get in rent for something like this?
Yeah, so the other units that we have rented the property across the street and the property right next door for $1,400. This one's a little bit more updated than the other ones are, and so we're going to be probably targeting about $1,600 a side.
16, okay.
Yep.
And then down there, yeah, let's take a look.
Yeah, we'll go downstairs. Yeah, so through the back here, so there's a kind of a secondary living room down here, and then there's no basement in these, so they are 1-floor slabs, and then there's a half bath that they kind of tuck away in the corner back here, and then, yep, garage. So we have new mechanicals too, so when we bought it, it was a new furnace and a new hot water tank, and then connected is a 1-car garage. So really, really nice, especially for a duplex. A lot of them don't have garages. This one has AC too, so a lot of them don't have AC. So then little back door, and it opens up to the backyard. And again, kind of the same thing. It's a really good plot of land. It's a good amount of space for a duplex or a multifamily property.
And then which one is your other property?
Yep, so I own the one diagonal to it as well. So that one's the same thing, duplex side by side. The front is brick, but the back is all vinyl. And then I'm under contract on the one right behind us. And then I have a partner who owns the one across the street.
Oh, it's crazy, man. What about this one over there?
Yeah, so I have a partner that owns that one.
Oh, okay.
So it's the same owner that owned all 4 of these. I wasn't able to do all 4, so I had a partner pick up that one, and then I'm picking up the other 3.
Nice.
Yeah, so they're all right around the same purchase price too.
Cool. Did you get any of those on the market, or everything was off market?
So one of them was on market. That they were selling, and then when we met them, we met the owner in person. They came out and they asked us if, or we asked them if they have any other houses that they're selling, and they were selling 3 others on the same neighborhood, so we wanted to buy them all.
How many properties do you have now?
Yeah, so right now we have 3 properties total. So it's 3 duplexes, and they're all just like this, same neighborhood. So far we've done that, and then the plan is to try and grow and get more, hopefully before the end of the year.
So, you have a real estate license, and your niche is kind of investors. So would you say that helps a lot with you finding deals for yourself as well?
It does. Yep. Yeah. So being an agent as well, I'm being able to work exclusively with investors. It gives me a lot of practice to be able to look for my own investment properties too. A lot of the times the investors that I work with aren't looking for the same kind of houses, the same strategy that I'm looking for properties. So not often do we mix, but it definitely gives me a lot of reps and a lot of practice to find my own properties too.
Nice. Do you want to see the next one?
Yeah, we can take a look at the next one.
Which one is yours?
This one. Yep.
So this is, where are we now?
Yeah, so now we are in Elmhurst Drive, still in Stowe, about 2 blocks away from the one that we were just at. This is actually the first house that we ever bought. So we house hacked this, so we bought it. We actually lived in the right side for probably about 6 months while the other side was rented. We fixed it up while we were doing that, and then after a little bit, the other tenant left, so we moved over to the other side, fixed that one up while we were living there, and then after another 6 months, full 12 months, 1 year, we left and bought the next one.
Okay, nice, man. And when you say house hacking, can you explain that for the people who don't know what that actually is?
Yeah, so house hacking is basically a strategy where you as an investor are kind of combining investment properties and owner-occupant properties. So we are buying a multifamily house or a single family and then renting out portions of the house. So if you buy a duplex, you can live in half of it and then you can rent the other side out, have it hopefully cover most, if not all of your mortgage. And then for the rules, FHA conventional rules, you have to live there for at least 365 days. Then you can move out, rent that unit out, and now it's a fully occupied investment property that you can keep.
Yeah, and you are the perfect example. So like a lot of young people, they don't want to share the wall or like a room or whatever with other people. You didn't have any problems with that, did you?
No, yeah, so being able to be a little bit younger, me and my girlfriend, we don't have any kids, we didn't have a big life, we don't have a ton of expenses, so we were able to downsize, live in a 2-bedroom, little multifamily house for 1 full year, and then to be able to start building up our portfolio. The biggest advantage of the house hacking strategy is that you can use a low down payment. So rather than having to bring 20-25% down for a typical investment property, you can just bring 3.5% or 5% down as the minimum.
Okay, so can we talk about numbers on this specific property? What was your payment and what was the rent that you were taking a month?
Yeah, so we originally bought the property for $250,000. At the time, rates were still high. Our mortgage payment, I think, was like $19.90 a month. When we bought it, the one side was rented, severely under rented, and that was the reason we kind of bought it. We knew we had to get rents higher. So once it was a little bit more stabilized, when we hopped to the other side, we rented the side that we renovated for $1,275. So it was rented for $1,275. Our mortgage payment was about $19.90. And we were only paying, $600 to be able to live there. And then we moved out, rented the other side. The other side's actually getting $1,400. So now $1,400 plus the $1,275, $2,675. The mortgage payment's only $19.90. So we're making about $700 from both units.
Okay, that makes sense. So a lot of people, especially new investors, they're always like debating, should we have a cash flow or appreciation? What do you say to that?
Yeah, so I think it's good to have a balance. Being able to have both opportunities, it really depends on your life circumstances. So for me, I'm a full-time agent as well. With my standard income, I'm able to make enough money to where I didn't feel like the cash flow was an important piece for me right now.
Yeah.
Being a little bit younger, I wanted to be able to get in the game, take advantage of the future appreciation that comes with it. So being in a nice area, especially house hacking, we want it to be somewhere that we like to live. But playing the appreciation game a little bit more because we're young, and then over time we're going to be able to make that money back later on down the road.
And then do you still apply the same philosophy when you're not buying something that you're going to live in, but like investment property? Do you still like look for good areas?
I do. I personally do. Yeah. So any investment properties that I'm looking at, I want to make sure that they are in areas that me and my family would still feel comfortable living in. So I want to make sure that they're still in good, high appreciating neighborhoods. I want to make sure that they are in areas that tenants are going to feel comfortable in, because the biggest part of investing is you want to have a passive investment. And so if you're in a neighborhood where you have a high turnover, you have headache tenants, dealing with that all the time isn't passive.
Yep.
So being in a great neighborhood, having great tenants, that's what makes it passive.
So you're 25, right?
Yep, 25.
Okay. So what would you say, let's say somebody's watching this, like they're 25, they want to get into real estate investing, how?
Yeah.
What would be the first tip you would give them?
Yeah, so the first tip I would give them would be to get connected with a great agent in your market, wherever you are. Talk to somebody so that understands investing, that knows how to do all of that, and make sure that your finances are in order. So that agent will either be able to connect you with a lender or connect you with somebody to be able to make sure that you can actually afford that mortgage payment, and then start working with that agent towards finding that opportunity.
Nice. And what about financing?
Yeah.
What would you do differently, or would you do the same as you did?
Yeah, so the biggest financing thing that we did was we had a 5% down payment. So if you're able to look at the houses in your area and see what the prices typically are, just times that by 0.05, 5%, to be able to determine what that out-of-pocket cost might be and make sure that you're in a financial position to be able to afford a property like that. And then a lot of the times you have to have some sort of stable income. So being able to have either a full-time job, a couple part-time jobs, and making sure that you have consistent income coming in.
All right, so what about finding off-market deals? Or do you think you can still find a good deal on MLS, on Zillow, Realtor.com?
Yeah, I do. I do think that you can still find good deals on market. It's a matter of making that good deal a great deal with on-market properties. So analyzing them and understanding what that property looks like. So there's a lot of houses on the market that have rents that are severely low, that have properties that are maybe a little bit more distressed, that people are avoiding. So there's still going to be good deals there. The biggest resource that I think I had with finding my houses that were off market was when there was an on market property that we were already looking at, we asked the owner if they had more houses, right? So whenever you're buying something or
that's
looking
a good tip, yeah.
Yeah, whenever you're buying something, looking at something, asking that agent, asking that investor, that owner, if that's the only house that they're selling or if they have other properties that they're looking to offload as well. Other off-market opportunities, a lot of people talk about driving for dollars. So if you are trying to cut some costs, you have a little bit of extra time on your hands, what you can do is you can drive around your neighborhoods, look for distressed houses, yards with long grass. If they have signs on the doors, like shut-off signs, utility signs, things like that. You might be able to try and skip trace, get the owner's contact information, reach out to them directly, and hopefully try to get properties that way too.
Yeah, that's a good way to get deals as well. And I mean, you as a real estate agent, you did over 100 deals this year, right? Something like that?
Yep. Yeah, to date, we're at 125 for this year.
With real estate investors, like what would you say it's the biggest mistake people make?
Yeah, with investors, I think one of the biggest things that I see is just trying to, I think it's two things. One of them is just trying to play games. So investors, you always want to try and get a good deal, but playing games has harmed a lot of investors that I've worked with.
How do you mean games?
Yeah, so whenever you have a deal on market, off market, you want to get it under asking price, just to say that you got it under asking price, right? Just playing that game, I don't think is a good strategy, and I think I've had a lot of clients miss out on good opportunities because of that. The second thing is running your numbers wrong. So understanding the market rents, understanding rehab costs, understanding ARVs, after repair values, and going into that opportunity and making sure that the numbers actually work and that you're being conservative with your numbers.
And how, like, what would you say you have, like, how many doors? Like, you have 3 doubles and...
Yep, 3 doubles, so we have 6 doors right now.
6 doors. So what's your long-term vision, like, let's say 10, 20, 30 years from now?
Yeah, so going into next year, we're looking at hopefully getting another 12 doors, try to get about a door a month, and then basically try to double it every year from there. So 2 years, another 24, 3 years, 30, 48, and then
48,
just keep going up from there until we feel like we're in a good spot.
So at what point, let's say you have 40, 50 doors, at what point do you want to hire a management company to do that for you?
Yeah, it's a good question. So everything I have right now, I self-manage. So it's a little bit easier when you're local, a little bit easier when you're in the field to self-manage my units. So at a point when I start to get a little bit too busy, or I start to not be able to keep up with some of the calls that I get, that's when I'll start evaluating and maybe bring in management. Especially being young and not having so many, I can cut costs a little bit, increase cash flow to be able to self-manage. But once we get to 10, 20, 30 doors, we'll start having to reevaluate it.
And how often do you get those midnight calls?
We haven't had any.
Okay.
We've had 0 midnight calls so far. Most of the calls that we've gotten so far have just been broken doorknob, a leaky faucet on one. But the first property that we have ever bought, we've owned it for about 1.5 years now. The tenant's been there for about 14 months and they haven't called us once.
Nice.
Yeah, so the biggest recommendation I can give with that is just make sure your properties are in a condition to where you don't get calls. So anytime we buy a house, we go in and we do a pretty rigorous inspection and evaluation period before the tenant moves in. A pre-listing checklist, and we make sure that everything is tightened up, everything is good to go, and so that way the tenant isn't finding problems and calling us.
That makes sense. And when it comes like this is a really good area and all of your properties are in a good area, so what do you do to pre-screen your tenants?
Yeah, so some of the things that we've done to pre-screen is we are typically looking for certain criteria based on credit score, income, things like that. So we have a full application process that we use. So we self-manage our units right now through RentRedi software, and it has an application process that asks for their income verification, asks for job history, asks for landlord history, asks for any dependents, any significant others that they have moving in, and then it runs a full background check and credit check to be able to make sure that they don't have any bad history of being able to maybe hurt us on the long run.
So when it comes to using debt as a tool to leverage yourself out, are you one of those people who think debt is bad, or do you want to leverage yourself and never pay off and then use that as an advantage?
Yeah, so I think it's a really good question. I think there's a lot of people that are afraid of debt. I think that there is good debt to be able to use. I think that mortgages is one of those debts because it's an appreciating asset. So for the near future, any properties, we're going to be using debt to be able to purchase them because we can use down payments to be able to get into those opportunities. And we're not too worried about the recurring payments on them because when the property is occupied, we have tenants inside, they're going to be paying that payment for us, paying down our mortgage for us. There might be a point in the very, very old, later future where if we are able to have rapid pay down on our properties and then being able to increase the cash flow that way.
Okay, what's a rapid pay down?
Yeah, so our mortgage payment on that property specifically was $19.90 a month. So if we get to a point where we have a ton of cash flow or we have higher earning income jobs, we can make larger payments. So rather than paying $19.90, we can pay $2,500 a month or $3,000 a month, and being able to pay our mortgage down faster than the standard 30-year mortgage.
Okay, so by the time you're 50, you want to have everything paid off basically, and then just enjoy life.
It'd be nice. Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be the goal, to be able to retire pretty early, have financial freedom pretty early, and be able to just have some cash flowing properties.
So like you have 3 doubles now. What do you think when you have like 50, 60? Does it become too much to manage, and then like is it passive income then if you have to manage $60 by yourself?
Yeah, the goal would be for it to be passive, and like we kind of talked about earlier, I think that might be a point where we bring in management. We pay a little bit of a higher fee to be able to have somebody else handle the active side of the investment properties. But when you get to a certain point, it is a job, and there are a lot of things that can happen. We have a lot of trackers in the background to make sure we have all of our numbers right. But it's something that we enjoy. So rather than it being a job, it's maybe more of a passion.
All right, man. So thank you so much for being my guest today. How can people reach out to you if they want to invest in Cleveland?
Yeah.
Or in Northeast Ohio, better said.
Yeah. So Cleveland and Akron are going to be the main spots. You can drop a comment, leave likes on the video itself, get in contact with George. He'll be able to get you in touch with me.
Yeah, and I'm going to take 25% referral fee. Just a disclaimer.
Exactly. Yep. And then I have an Instagram. I have social media myself as well. So you'll be able to get in touch with me there. I'm sure that we'll have some links below.
All right. Awesome, man. Thank you so much for your time today.
Appreciate your time. Talk to you soon.